Hello again. I want to talk a little bit about the way in which feminism, and especially feminized education in this country, has made it all but impossible to engage in a simple and robust debate, or indeed even to think clearly about things. The problem stems from the way in which society as a whole has adopted a feminine perspective and point of view in many areas, and this has almost completely replaced more traditionally masculine ways of thinking and behaving. Now, put like that, of course, I sound like some kind of awful reactionary dinosaur. Do I really wish to see a return to the male chauvinism which was so common up until the 1970s? Am I really saying that I'm opposed to feminism and wish to see women return to the kitchen and bedroom? Do I think women are less intelligent than men? I am, of course, saying nothing of the kind. They are not my views at all. What I am saying is that the intellectual method and thought processes which enable the Western world to create new things and which have resulted in the creation of the modern world and all that we see around us have been sabotaged. And it is almost as though the idea of rational thought is no longer even regarded as necessary. Objective truth is widely derided as being sexist and racist. And the most important thing of all is personal experience, my truth and my lived experience. The problem begins at nurseries and schools, where nearly all the staff are women. Almost without exception, these people working with young children have a horror of confrontation, aggression, and even disagreement. Nobody must ever be upset, even by having somebody criticise them or telling them that they are wrong. Disputes or conflicts, even when they are merely verbal ones between children, are defused by teaching the children that it is wrong to argue and that everybody's views are as good as everybody else's. This is, of course, completely untrue. It's a general technique for calming down situations, and it means that everybody is happy because everybody is right. It's one thing doing this in the playground, of course, to stop boys fighting, but it happens later on with debates and discussions too. Debating a topic vigorously is one way to test the truth or falsity of a point of view, but having people opposing each other in this way is anathema for female teachers, and they try to get the pupils to reach a consensus rather than accepting that one or the other point of view may be correct and the opposing one wholly wrong. This approach lingers on through secondary school, and of course by the time that they reach university, a lot of students have been indoctrinated into this attitude that it is wrong to be too vigorous in expressing the views you hold, and that it's more important not to hurt anybody's feelings than it is to thrash out a point verbally and see whose opinion makes the most sense. This also becomes a habit of thought. Often when we're thinking, we weigh things up, pro and con, for and against, and we set out points of view mentally and compare them with each other and see which point of view is the strongest, or whether it's possible to reach a compromise. But even that way of thinking, even that simple opposition, it's a dialectical process. We have thesis and antithesis, and it results in a synthesis sometimes where the best points of both points of argument are incorporated. Even that's gone. Everything now is a quest for conformity, a quest for consensus, whether when you're with other people or even if you're alone. Of course, this is fatal for original thought. It's by setting two opposing points of view at each other that new ideas emerge. If scientists have been so timid and anxious to avoid upsetting anybody that they didn't push hard for new ideas such as the existence of atoms, the role genes play in inheritance, or the fact that electric currents produce magnetic fields, then we'd still be stuck with 18th century ideas and technology. It was through the struggles between false ideas and true ones that new truths emerged. In a world where you must not speak too roughly or forcefully in case somebody is disturbed by your words, then no new discoveries in any field are apt to be made. This is fine, though, at least according to an ever-increasing number of people, mostly women, in the academic world, because there is a trend afoot these days to deny that there is such a thing as objective truth, and this means according all viewpoints equal respect, even when some of them are quite mad and demonstrably wrong. In day-to-day life, you hear people claim that this is my truth, and this is a manifestation of the feeling about which I am talking. The idea is that if somebody has a lived experience, to use another of those fancy modern expressions, then that trumps any facts or information to which you might point in books. The lived experience, that is to say a person's life, means that they have a special truth, and this cannot be gainsaid by facts alone. The dangers of this standpoint are obvious because it means that there is no such thing as objective truth anymore, and that everybody can indeed be right and nobody wrong. We saw this the other day when pop singer Buffy Sainte-Marie was revealed to have been misleading the public about her origins. She's not, it seems, a Native American at all, and the accounts of her life were a pack of fairy tales. She reacted by issuing a statement in which she spoke of her truth, as though that were a different thing from objective reality. Hardly anybody jeered at this or even noticed, so widespread has this kind of foolishness become. The result of all this is that whereas at one time universities in Britain were hotbeds of new ideas and young people were arguing furiously with each other and also with their tutors, this is now felt to be poor form, and the polite way of carrying on is to seek agreement with others rather than arguing with them. I need hardly say that this is a catastrophe for generating new ideas or discoveries. When people are more eager to agree with each other than they are to debate the merits of rival ways of thinking, then the chances of anything new emerging become almost zero. In this way, the intellectual atmosphere stagnates. No progress is made in any field, either intellectual or scientific. There is a reason that most inventions and new ideas have come from men rather than women. It's not intelligence. There's no reason to suppose that men are any more intelligent than women. It is that men are not afraid to become passionate and even aggressive about their ideas, and to both defend them and also try and overcome the others' ideas of others in a ferociously competitive way. Women do tend rather to seek consensus, though, rather than confrontation. This is how progress is made, the opposition of ideas, but with the feminisation of our schools and universities, it's a process which has fallen into abeyance, which doesn't really bode well for the future. Because what it means is that a lot of young people now are not really able to think properly. They cannot weigh up the rights and wrongs of a position, pros and cons, because they're desperately anxious that everybody is right and that no idea is to be proved wrong.